आजकाली प्रति एक चरडा लागी कागेलेच स्वतःचे म्हूण एक मोबाईल फोन असचे खबर तुमकां सगळ्यांक गोतस. जाल्यार हे मोबाईल फोन असल्यार त्या चरडाक कितली चांग आणि कितली वाईट म्हणून आम्ही आलोचन केलेले ना. आज सायबर सिक्युरिटी या सायबर सुरक्षाचे सविसाचे पख्यान 26th एपिसोडान तू आम्ही पळया किड्स मोबाईल या मोबाईल फोन ऑफ द किड्स हाजे निमित्त कसं पुरा कष्ट जाता हाजे निमित्त कसं पुरा समस्या साध्य आसा म्हणून. हांव सुचित्रा येशणे तुमकां सगळ्यांक विश्व कोंकणी केंद्राचे युट्यूब वाहिनीक स्वागत करता. तशीची आमगेल मध्ये आसाची प्रसिद्ध सायबर सिक्युरिटी एक्सपर्ट डॉक्टर अनंत प्रभू हानी. डॉक्टर अनंत तुमकां हेच्या पाख्यान स्वागत.
थँक्यू.
आयच्या काळान तो त्यावेळी कोविडा नंतर पळयल्यार सगळ्याक एक मोबाईल फोन जावकाची अशी जाला. तांगेले क्लासाचे तांगे शाळेचे कसले एक काम असल्यार व्हॉट्सॲपार येता तांतू मेसेज येता. होमवर्क असल्यार व्हॉट्सॲपान तो मेसेज येता. अशें आसतना एक आवस बापूस केन्नाय त्या फोन तांगेले फोन चरडाक साध्य जायना म्हूण सांगून तांणी चरडाक म्हणूच एक दुसरेच एक मोबाईल फोन घेवन दिताची. हाजे बद्दल तुम्ही कसं म्हणटा?
यात पोस्ट कोविड म्हणून नाही, युजली हांव पळयतास आय हॅव सीन अ लॉट ऑफ स्मॉल किड्स तांकां तुमी टॅब दिनातल्यार तांणी खाना. सो दिस हॅज बिकम अ नॉर्मल नो. आनी दे आर बिजी विथ देअर ओन फोन्स. सो तशें आसतना हे चलडाले किरकिर कोणा जाय म्हणून तांणी कशें करताचे एक मोबाईल काडून जो टॅब काडून दिताची बैस म्हणून.
अँड तुम्ही सांगचे शाळे बद्दल चरडू म्हण मात नाही सन चरडू जाल्यार दिवन चडताची.
So, for example, there is a term, digital natives and early adopters. So, आम्ही पुरा कसं करता आशिल्लीच म्हळ्यार we have used technology, but the technology आम्ही यूज केलेला maybe when we were in 5th standard or 6th standard. थंय तो in my case हांव तर computer use start केलेला in 4th standard on. And after that, my first mobile phone मी गेला second PUC असताना म्हाका तांणी दिलेलं. So तशें आसतना I'm talking about 2002. I got my first cell phone. So, but when it comes to these kids, तांगेला स्कूलान तुची, I'm talking about first standard, second standard, तांगेला mobile phones they have. So these are all digital natives. तांगेला
digital natives.
Why natives? So they are born with the technology. So तशें आसतना तांकां it has become a normal now. And कोण यूज करनी पडला आमी तांकां ई-स्लेट से पुरो दिवचा सुरू केला. So we have done that as well. So that they are used to technology, keeping in mind China, because the Chinese tani technology right from school tani adopt kela tani. And also at the 6th standard the chalduank AI varan shiketa asachi Tamil Nadu tu. That's already started. So when it is like that, first important point hanka samalari the dopamine. So dopamine is a reward chemical in our pituitary gland. Right? So ते कसं जाता basically एक चलडाक exam बरयताना exam तो first rank आयला रे, the reward mechanism automatically gives a small amount of dopamine and he feels happy. Correct? Cricket खेळताना एक 6 मारला रे, it gives him a reward. So reward आकी तरी चलडो they were becoming very active and exam बरोवचे, खेळचे, and tough task कसं असते accomplish करचे, tougher exams बरोवचे, JEE main अशें पळय, JEE advanced अशें पळय, NEET, UPSC असल पुरा करता आशिल्लीच. But right now कसं जाता आसा आमगेल brain does not understand the difference between real and virtual. For example, आता हांव तुमकांची फाई रात्री 12 घंट्याक एक स्मशान वचून बैस म्हणटा. बैसून ते एक व्हडली टीव्ही दवरता आनी एक बोसाचे एक 2 लायक स्पीकर दवरते आनी सम एक्ट्रेस सी आलिया भट्ट, ओके, तिगेले एक बुत्ता फिल्म एक रिसेंट आयला. सो त्या बुत्ता फिल्म हांव प्ले करता. यू नो दॅट यू आर वॉचिंग अ मूवी ऑन अ बिग स्क्रीन, यू नो दॅट द एक्ट्रेस इज आलिया भट्ट, पूरा तुम गोतस. बट देर इज वन सीन इन दॅट मूवी वेर somebody comes and knocks the door, बागेल काढतात कोणी नाची, आपास नॉक काढतात, थर्ड टाइम नॉक करतात, सडन ती उब्बून येतं. ती उब्बून येतना 100% you will jump from your chair once. Okay, you will be like, जाऊ नो कसं जल्ला म्हणून कळ. Why this भय? That is because brain cannot understand or differentiate real and virtual. Brain thinks that this is real which has happened. So video games खेळताना तशी जाते चेडवांक. When a video game, a temple run game खेळताना चेडवांक, the level cross करताना, the brain thinks that han कसकी hard एक काम केला म्हणून, and brain will give the reward chemical, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, these are all there. So everything it gives in small quantity, and because of that, the child feels hanga बैसून blissful असताना ते वचून exam बरोबर ते वचून बाहेर वचून खेळलो. Why should I end up doing all these things? So that is why we are seeing the addiction. चेडवा usually the relatives pura jara etan tumi polona pura room adokun bayre na cheldu, they'll be inside nana have na. Why? Because the social interaction skills have drastically dropped among kids. What is that? Tanni atami pura food PT period wait karta shilichi bayar sun kelka man. They don't want to do all that because cricket kheltan tak ek 2 units of dopamine release jalari. Video game 5 units of dopamine release at Kimul. So he feels more happy. See, we do things that make us happy. And if a video game is making somebody happy, then the child come on. So yeah, take a start job. A food annal mobile kanu kelkashil, ammal mobile kanu kelkashil. But at the child wala tangile mobile astana, it becomes easier for them to access it.
वय तशीची हाजी निमित्ताची म्हळ्यार मोबाईल हात आशिल्ले निमित्त मस्त चेडू आला तू लर्निंग डिसेबिलिटीज करू येता म्हणून म्हणटाची.
वय दिस इज ऑल्सो देर. आमी आतां एक युजली आतां एक टिचराक बेस्ट टीचर म्हणून आपयतात जाल्यार फर्स्ट त्या टिचरान कसो करता म्हळ्यार आतां आमी क्रिकेट खेळटना कसो करताची फर्स्ट आमी ते एक पिच रिपोर्ट म्हणून एक पळयताची. ते पिच कशें आसा म्हणून, विंड कशें येता, मॉइश्चर कितलो आसा, पिच कशें आसा हें पुरो आमी पिच रिपोर्ट कोरून मागीर ते टॉसा वेळार बॅटिंग करता की बॉलिंग करता म्हणून दिस इज हाऊ वी डू इट. सिमिलरली अ गुड टीचर फर्स्ट कसो करता म्हळ्यार त्या क्लासान तूं कितले लेफ्ट ब्रेन चेडू आसाची कितले रायट ब्रेन चेडू आसाची म्हणून एक सायकोमेट्रीक टेस्ट दिवन पळयता त्या क्लासा कशी आसता. बेसिकली human beings have a brain which has got 2 hemispheres, left and right. One of them will be dominant. In my case, the left is dominant. In somebody, the right may be dominant.
Arts, kala
right astachi, and the right ones are usually creative, very different. They love emotional. Right, left ashilani logical, systematic. Magir tangilek they are good in math and things like that. So left, that is one thing. Second, VARK monekas, visual, auditory, read, write and kinesthetic. At a class antu childua, they can be a blend of these 4 or a dominant one. For example, visual student aka, now you have been a fantastic teacher, so you explain it on the board. To me the board a baraila spalta student polono the student al matte avata apas garavchun shika munena. There are such students, if when a good teacher teaches, they just have to see what the teacher is teaching purta ochun exam barayta. This the lucky lot visual mantaji. And the same student sanke the book kas palashkon polono ek 2-3 padi palelar puro it gets completely registered in the brain. And not just the registering, even the retention and recalling is also great. Retention mala kitla well register jaun asta mano, and recalling at that minute exactly. Second, we call it as auditory student aka aikuka teacher ana class kartana spalya. So today we have come to the class and I am going to explain. So there's a variation in his vocal cords, and that actually helps the auditory student. And pad mon pura class mon asa the formula pura, even you've been a student there, so that time you have seen how it is, so pad mon formula sankhya pura. So this basically ami tad like actually kasa kheli am pura asal pura ami pura puc asachi anga nursery rhyme man ke class karte. Then we figured out that he's a genius, where we have been taught to chalk use kartan sir. He used to use color chalks instead of just using a white chalk like a normal. एक chalk box घेऊन येता आशिल्ली, in which green chalk, pink chalk, so that a visual student, it registers in the head. Similarly, for an auditory student, it is the voice modulation. Third is read write. They used to tell us to write whatever they tell, at the notes dittachi. When the notes is that, why the hell should I write again? But they used to ask us to write, so that when you write, it helps your read write component. And the fourth is kinesthetic. We had a fantastic teacher, Lawrence Pinto, for physics. So one of the reasons why I became a teacher is because of him only. Because I never thought teaching could be so lucrative. After looking at him, I became a big fan. In fact, even yesterday I wished him for Easter as well. So, that level of, I still have that attachment with sir. So he used to never explain things. He used to practically demonstrate it. So practical demonstration is required for a kinesthetic student. Now you may think, why a student doesn't like the normal classes these days? Because we don't have such teachers who involve all these four elements and take the class. That काय मिळतं? The Byju'sa मिळतं. Byju'saच्या तक I'm not advertising Byju's, but I'm telling you, the app antu, the teacher and class kartana, they use the animation, they use all the things possible to make all these four, visual, auditory, read write and kinesthetic, to be blended in such a way that students get hooked to it. Then they feel, school teacher na tuition this is more than enough. That is how it works. Now, when they're using that, they're looking at a screen end of the day. So screen palitana, all the digital devices emit blue rays. And these blue rays are extremely harmful for your eyes. And that is where you get glasses, you get headache, and you also get a lot of other eye-related issues because of the blue rays which are emitted from the digital screens, especially LED and LCD. The CRT used to not emit blue rays, but these screens have. We don't have CRT. So Tashastana, I always recommend people to buy these glasses which come with not just the anti-glare. Anti-glare is different, but you get a blue ray coating at that. Especially corner mobile phone chard use karta chi screen time thing chard asta. They have to have this blue ray blocker filter, blue cut lens. So that is needed, and also I call it as a 20-20-20 rule. So for every 20 minutes of screen time, for 20 seconds, look 20 feet away, and never look at the screen when it is dark, and always blink your eyes.
Very often,
This since the kids are not following this, the ones with a mobile you must have seen, because I usually go to schools just to see how these kids are, and most of them wear these glasses, and this is one of the main reasons.
Glasses are
of course, but the screen time and the video gaming has increased so much that they're sitting glued in front of the TV.
आता मोबायला निमित्त अशी दोळ्याक समस्या जाता आणि तशी त्या डोपामिन रिलीज जावन तांकां एक किक कशी मेळटा म्हणून तुम्ही सांगले. दुसरे कसं नमने हानी जावची साध्य आसा म्हळ्यार सायबर सिक्युरिटी पॉइंट ऑफ व्ह्यू पळयता.
एक फिजिकल आणि एक अनेक एक असं रिपिटेटिव्ह स्ट्रेन इंजुरी तांणी ते एक बॉट अशें करून यूज करता देखून तांगेले बॉट हें जाता असं. And a lot of people, I don't know, your hand, you can just see, आमी केंचे हात्ता मोबाईल धरता पळय थंय हांगा ते अशी जाला पळय already. But when you compare this is straight, but there's a dent. So again, the child which will be born hereafter will be born like that only, because genetic evolution जाओ नो, gene mutation जाओ नो भाई असल पुरजत असता. So anyways, jokes apart, but the thing is, what I always tell every parent, तने या एक उडगास दोरका, तुम्ही तुमगेल फोन चलडू आन दिवचे नच. तुम्ही तांकां एक सेपरेट फोन दिवका. ते सेपरेट फोन अंतू गूगल फॅमिली लिंक म्हण एक ॲप आसा. त्या ॲप घालून दिवका. त्या ॲप घालल्यारी नंबर 1 आता मी खंयचे एक सिनेमा पळयतना फस्टाक एक सेन्सर बोर्ड एक सर्टिफिकेट येता. आमी ताका UAA तशी रेटिंग जाता. Similarly, apps also have a rating which is called as ESRB rating. Entertainment Software Rating Board. तर तुम्ही खंय पळयता प्ले स्टोर जो ॲप स्टोरान खंयचे ॲप तुम्ही डावनलोड करतना फर्स्ट येता कितले डावनलोड्स जाला, नेक्स्ट कितले रेटिंग्स, थर्ड ESRB रेटिंग येता. any app that you see. For example, WhatsApp can only be used by 16 years and above.
Really?
Really. The ESRB rating is 16. So तशें असताना आम्ही कसं करताची 10 वर्सां चेडे WhatsApp यूज करता. Actually not supposed to use. So तुमगे चेडलाक त्या फोनान तू ॲप घालून दिल्यारी तुम्ही फस्टाक त्या चेडलाल जेंडर आनी एज घालतात तांतू. त्या एज स्पेसिफिक कसं कॉन्टेंट तांणी पळयत पळय तें मात्र तांकां मेळटा. For example, if your child is 10 and you put it as 10 years जाच्यानी कसं internet browse, it's more like a safe search on this. Because in English, there are so many words which have double meaning. Okay, so तुम्ही त्या word search करताना, you naturally search that word. But since it has double meaning, when you search, you get that content also. So there is a possibility that the child will
learn.
Yeah, so we have to enable that. One. Second, screen time decide koret parent an gitla mun. This aka Miguel challana jo chillena only 2 hours mobile use koret mun. So if you set it as 2 hours, the child can use the phone only for 2 hours every day. After that, he can take and receive calls, but browse koru jaina. Browse koru atana your screen has been locked on it. Third, you can track where your child is. Okay, you can track, you can see where the child is. तुम्ही एक geographic perimeter galeta tantu, if the child comes beyond that, आम्ही एक geo fencing म्हणताची, you get a message. घरात वकून बाहेर आयला, जो तुम्ही गेलते लेआउटात वकून बाहेर आयला, so you get that message.
Yeah, app
tantu as Google Family Link अंतुची geo fencing as school adakun बाहेर आयल सत्तन कळता. And that you can also link, actually you can link in such a way that IFTT, if this then that Monica, yes tantu, how ghara 1 kilometer dur astanachi the AC of my house switches on. You know, you can I mean you can do such certain things.
Smart home jaw kono, smart appliances number.
Yes, because amigel smart appliance natlare no problem. Atek sadek switch ayla. Okay, a switch from Wipro and many companies. It's very 600-800 rupees. Tumgel kench normal ACS. The switch galno the switch Wi-Fi connect jaun asta. So when you come there, it automatically switches on, even if your AC is not smart, even your fridge is not. So for example, tumi kasa karta microwave antu khan door nastachi. Childu garayat mantana, the microwave on jatta, the food will be hot, so that the child gets the hot food. So such things also possible. And fourth feature, fantastic feature which is there in that is you get to see what your child is doing online. Tani kasa search karta asachi, kasa videos padela, kasa karta asachi, all these things can be monitored.
Jala atta chardu mari smart as dar history delete karta no.
Tani kasa kellare, we get a copy of it. Okay, and they can't remove this app. But app galar phone antu, that password asta, so they will not be able to remove it. So teshastana, unfortunate part is wives are putting this on husband's phone these days. So this entire Google, and husbands are coming running to me and they're like, Prabhu sir, idondu tegdu kodi sir namge, hendati makkaliga hakko badli nim lecture keli nan phone ge hakidare, iga yen madudu anta gottagta illa amanu. Yen madudu, what can be? You can't do anything. So this is how it is.
Atya mobile phone निमित्त तांकां तुम्ही सांगताय तशें परत तांतो गुगल फॅमिली घाल्यार रेस्ट्रिक्टेड अमाउंट ऑफ इन्फॉर्मेशन येता म्हणून म्हणल्यार जाल्यार तांकां ते मोबायल फोन दिल्यारी तांकां मागीर त्या मोबायलान तूं अशा दुसरी कसली ऍक्टिव्हिटी करची नाका म्हणून दिसना.
ताचे खातीर स्क्रीन टायम घालूंक आसा. So once we put the screen time of 2 hours or 1 hour, after that
फोन करची तसलो पुरो कोण बसल्यारी.
No, if you have seen these days, they're not much into talking. They're more into texting. They're more into
texting start kelas.
Jaina Kuruka. No, everything is blocked. You can only take calls. And which calls you can take? Only those numbers which are permitted. Random calls kadu jayana. Annale, ammale, tasale. Kasa galla pad. It's a fantastic app and it's from Google and it's free. The entire thing. You don't have to pay anything for it. So it's a great thing. So they have realized tankalla kasa problem jatta siya chaldu alle amuno. Tajikitir tanita ya Google Family Link mono galla. And this is very important, especially our parents aita santas yamalari. 3 namne apps. Free apps, paid apps. Paid apps are coming premium mantachi. And third is called freemium. So free, premium, freemium. Basically, one lady, female officer in Redtasa, Nan yen madide nimge, allala, neevalla sir, but ನನ್ನ ಮಗ ನನ್ನ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಆಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ. ಬಟ್ ಆಡುವಾಗ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ ರೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಗೇಮ್ ಆಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ. ಸಿ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕಾರ್ ರೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಗೇಮ್ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ there are 10 cars. They'll give you 3 cars to play for free. And if you want the 4th car, you have to pay token and you have to take. How to pay token? That is by your credit card. And this mom's Google Pay is linked to Google Pay is not the credit card na debit card kasale na ka. So Google Pay is. But in this case, the mom's credit card was only linked. Google Play Store aka. Yeah, challan kasa kela madare. Ammal mobile astava. Hane like cars purchase kela dantu. Okay, take 28 की 30,000 रुपीस बिल येतं तुम्ही ट्रान्झॅक्शन करताना कसं जाता SMS येतं ना बँकाकडून या डिलीट करची. सो मोबाईल अम्मा देतं ना अम्मा SMS कसं लेना तंतु आणि ती कळलं. सो वेन विल शी गेट टू नो ओनली वेन द ट्रान्झॅक्शन स्टेटमेंट कम्स अँड स्टेटमेंट कम्स वन्स इन 30 days. सो एक महिना कसले कळले एक महिना जल सतन ते 33,000 की कसकी क्रेडिट कार्ड बिल येला shock. And in that clear जाऊन बरो नाही असताना ते कसं नाही
स्पेंड केला.
and then she comes and shows me. Then I said ಇದು ಪ್ಲೇ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಈಗ ನಾನು ಎಂತ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್. ಅದು ಡಿಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಮಾಡೋಣ ಏನು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪೇ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಪೇ ಯುವರ್ ಸಿಬಿಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಅ ಬೀಟಿಂಗ್. ಯುವರ್ ಸಿಬಿಲ್ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗೋ ಡೌನ್. ಸೊ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪೇ. ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನೋ ಅದರ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್. ದೆನ್ ಶಿ ಸೆಡ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಕಟ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ದೆನ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು EMI ಇಟ್. ಸೊ EMI ಕೋರ್ನು ತಂತು ತಿಕ್ಕ 32,000 4,000 ಲೆಕ್ಕನ್ ಬುರ್ಚಿತ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ನು ಬಾರ್ ಮೈನ ಅಂತು by 12 months because 8,000 interest ಹೇಳ್ತದೆ. Because credit cards charge exorbitant interest. So asal pura problem is jatta. Tadukku namme we have to be very careful when we give. Second, usually this may not happen with everybody, but annala mobile antu WhatsApp to konkonal uleta sthanu चलडू अन कसं केला म्हणला रे अन्न कोणाला उलयतस पळय त्याचे स्क्रीनशॉट काढू अम्मा पेटेला. अँड मॅरिटल प्रॉब्लेम स्टार्ट झाला मस्त घरांतू. सो ते दिस इज अनदर प्रॉब्लम विच आय हॅव सीन. ಸೊ ನಿಂಗಿಲ್ಲ ರೀ ವಾಟ್ಸ್ಆ್ಯಪ್ನ ಲಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಮಂತಾನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವ ಹೇಗೆ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದ. This child has seen the father typing the password. So the children know the password these days. Okay.
त्याला त्याच्यावर आन्सर केलं करेक्ट काम केलं.
अच्छा पुरं. And third situation ನಾವು कसं पळायला म्हणणार आहे फेस लॉक दवरताच पण फेस लॉक ಅಂತೂ चलडू ಇವನು ಶಿಕೊಂಡು ಅನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಂಡಲ್ಲಿ ತಕೊಂಡು ಓಪನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ತಕ್ಕಚ್ಚಿ there are like these kids, the digital natives, they are so intelligent that they know कसं केल्यारी कसं करू शकतात.
नाही तांकां ते रील्स करू गोत त्याची एडिटिंग करू गोत व्हिडिओज.
And there are groups like WhatsApp group ಅಂತೂ कोणी जो एकल्यानं युरेका म्हणजे कसं एक फाइंड आउट केलं तो he doesn't keep it to himself. He will tell everybody ಮಾಡ್ರೋ. So everybody will do that. So this is how they have become very. So this is another problem that we have seen. And the last problem is these whatever the phones that they're using tantu camera asta. The camera is there. So they can misuse that camera anyhow. So
आणि तांकां ते कॅमेराचे फोटो काढताना तांकां कसं नमने फोटो काडका म्हणून तांकां समज आसना. म्हळ्यार कोणे कसले तांकां मॅनिपुलेट करूंक सुलभ.
तकाची there is something called as cyber grooming. So cyber grooming and कसं जाता on Instagram or on Snapchat or on because these days everybody is on Discord and Snapchat. So these are the two apps. So there somebody will come. Okay, he will come and talk to the child of the mother or father and tell me and your mother were very good friends once upon a time, but we are not in good terms. And they'll use those slangs which these Gen Z uses. And they immediately get connected with such people when you talk that way. So there are certain words which are used, and once you use them they get. And because they are also, see, mother is not spending time with the child, father is not spending. So at least they feel mother's friend is there now. And they start giving them some small gifts and whatnot. Then they use these kids to spy at home. Amma like photo card pete, Anna like photo card, kasa karta saman poloka, magiri, Amma mobile kasa ek screenshot card makka, chata chamon. And they do it. Because once you become submissive, then whatever instructions are told to you by the master, like a humble slave, they would just execute it. And we have seen so many cases of cyber grooming where innocent children, they have fallen prey. So तशें आसतना आमी चेडूं मोबाईल दितना at least till they become 16 or 17, 18, forget it, at least till 16, 10th tai, we have to be very careful and we need to know every single activity that they do online because India antu कृषि तुम्हें ते कार सोडका जल्लारी. There is a license.
Age limit.
Exactly. तशें आसतना we have to there is no license for using the technology. So but there is a law, like how Indian Motor Vehicle Act is there. There is Information Technology Act. For example, if I know your password, like I saw that time, what password you are typing. If I know that, and when you go to the changing room and I take your phone and I type the password, 66 year prakara, I have to go behind the bars for 2 to 3 years. So tashasa and 1 to 2 lakh rupees fine is. So there is a lot of implications that follow by doing certain things which you are not supposed to do. But the problem kasa manar kanche school antu colleges antu.
The law kasa man kona kai
They don't know. So when they don't know, you end up committing crimes because you didn't know that it was a crime. So for example, when somebody is in a relationship, they have shared passwords and then they broke up. And then one fine day, he logs into her Gmail just to check what she's doing. And she goes and files a complaint. He is logged into my Gmail. Gello, 3 years bitar to, you know. So the kids have to be very careful. They have to understand the cyber implications of doing something and because it's a double-edged sword. Advantages are there, disadvantages are there, but you have to be very careful.
इतले वेळू किड्स मोबाईल फोन्स ताजे निमित्त कसं पुराकश जाता म्हणून सांगितलंय डॉक्टर अनंत प्रभू हांक हांव धन्यवाद सांगता. धन्यवाद डॉक्टर अनंत.
Thank you.
तशीच आमगे सर्व वीक्षकांक हांव धन्यवाद सांगून सर्वांक देव बरें करूं म्हणून मागता.